There he is,
Absolutely.
everybody. We did it.
Nice. We're
did
here.
It, man.
Good morning.
I was gonna say good morning to you too, my friend. I got the we were texting and stuff, and you're like, yeah, I could do it at this hour, and I was like, oh my god. All right, got me up early today, man.
Sorry, man. It's tough. It's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on, but still, man, we appreciate you obviously coming on. It's funny because I see you got the guitar, and we appreciate you doing this. We're going to have an absolute blast. We've got Derek from Mayday Parade with us, got the acoustic guitar. But when I was thinking about this before is, this reminded me a little bit about Warped Tour, where like you would have to wake up and be like, oh, like we have like an acoustic performance or a VIP meet and greet that we have to do, and you never knew what hour it was. But usually on Warped Tour, because it was literally like a 24-hour event, you would sometimes have to wake up and be like, oh, I gotta get ready, I gotta play. So this reminded me of that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's nothing worse, man, than waking up and hearing like you guys play in an hour, like on Warped Tour, like, oh my gosh, like okay,
Yeah,
like that's tough, especially because like you never know. There's a lot of partying that happens and like drinking on Warped Tour, and it's always like the night that you decide to maybe like, go a little while. The next day you're inevitably going to be playing first. It's just kind of the way it goes. But yeah.
And do you ever get used to that? Were you able to ever get used to that? For the viewers and the listeners out there, they literally do not know. The band literally does not know till that morning. So you might be like, roll the dice, fingers crossed, like, I had a wild night, or, I met it with some friends that came to Warped Tour. I hadn't seen them in a while. Like, I'm going to drink with them. And you just hope that you don't have that first slot the next day, but you don't know. You do not know until that morning, right?
Right. Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, it's like, it's a character of Warped Tour. It's like, it keeps you on your toes, and so I guess in a way you kind of get used to it, but it can be brutal. It's tough to sing an hour after. It's tough to sing in front of a huge crowd of people an hour after you've, woken up for the day. Voice is not pretty warm usually by that point,
Yeah.
Just drinking a lot. I got some throat coat tea right here, so I'm pretty much doing the same thing, just drinking throat coat and warming it up,
Well, we appreciate you coming on, man. Before we jam out in a second, I want to ask you because, it's been weird during quarantine and during the last year. It sucked, obviously, for everybody involved. But I haven't communicated. It's weird. Like I've caught up with people that I might not have spoken to a lot. But on the flip side, especially with music, like I feel like I haven't because there was always that live element. Like, oh, I'm gonna see Derek 2 or 3 times a year, or I'm gonna see these people anyway through their tour cycles. But unfortunately, you and I haven't talked. We've been texting here and there, which has been great. But how are you doing personally, man? How's the band doing? How are things going? Tell us about it, man.
Yeah, things are going well. I mean, as well as they can be. Obviously, it's crazy to take, but by the time we do like another actual tour, it'll probably be about 2 years between the last tour and the next one. So, I mean, that's just an insane thing for anybody to take 2 years off without planning for it, But in the meantime, we've been working on lots of music. I don't know how much I'm like allowed to supposed to say or talk about, but we actually are, I'll go ahead and just say it. I mean, whatever, but we're done with the new album. We finished recording a new full length.
Let's go. Yes.
For sure. We just finished like 2 weeks ago. So I'm super excited about that. That's kind of like, I guess next time we get together will be to shoot some music videos and promo videos and what have you for that. And I don't know, I'm just pumped to still be playing music in 2021. Like it's crazy how long it's been and, everything that we've been able to do. And it's just like, we're still playing music. It's crazy, like it's just wild. So I'm happy to be here. It's also kind of like, as much as it sucks to like take this long of a break without touring, it's also in the last 15 years, I've never had a chance to be in one place for like a long time like this, so it's nice with my family and everything. It's been that's kind of like the silver lining, I guess, is that it's been kind of cool to just like chill at home, even though I am still like pretty busy and working on a lot of music, and I've been bouncing around like, leaving for going to a studio and things like that. But it's kind of nice. It kind of spoils you a little bit, like we were in the studio for like a month and a week, and it felt like a pretty long time, and it's like typically this would have been just, several times a year. Yeah, right. Very normal. So you kind of spoils you a little bit, but I'm ready to get back out and play some live music. I really am. So.
How was it seeing everybody, or when everybody got together for that first time? I mean, you guys are literally brothers. You guys spend, as you mentioned, more time with each other than with families or friends, even from back home, wherever it might be, you know, on the road, right. 24 hours a day, all this, and then it doesn't happen for about a year. How was it when everybody finally got back together? You know, you guys had done it for the last live stream, but now all of a sudden you're writing music and just, you know, you're not writing in the back of the bus anymore and like coming up with riffs or just jamming out or like during sound checks maybe being like, oh, that sounded kind of cool. Like, remember that for when we go in. Now everybody was kind of separate and they all come together. How was that? Like, this, you've never done this before, obviously. So how was
For sure. It was cool. I mean, it's awesome. And it's always like those, you know, the first like day or two when we get back together is always like euphoric. It's always, everyone's just like cracking jokes and smiling and laughing and hanging out. And the way that it's become much more of like a, you know, as you mentioned, it used to be, we kind of jam things out together and whatnot. And now it's like we all kind of make these demos and write kind of full out songs and demo them out like pretty thoroughly and send them in. So, you know, a lot of things have changed, but we also still work on music together, and it's a little bit of both, but it's cool. You know, I'm really pumped on the new songs and I hope people like it. And yeah, it's cool.
And then we'll get to the song because I see it. People are asking in the chat, etc. We'll get to it in a second, but I just want to, you know, catch up and stuff. I've asked this with many people throughout, you know, artists and bands and stuff, and I get literally two kind of polar opposite answers. One are the artists that are just like, man, like I had to take some time off from writing or just even like any of this. Like it was kind of overwhelming in the beginning. It was hard to kind of put down thoughts because I didn't know what was happening, or because I was stuck inside and I write because of experiences that I'm currently going through. And I didn't have that for months. So I get that side of it. And then the other side are just like, I actually was able to be more creative now than ever before because I didn't have all the distractions in my life. How was it trying to come up with thoughts during the past year? Were you able to kind of home them in a little bit?
It was definitely more of the former at first. It was tough. I mean, for all of us, we all talked about how, because we had this time and we were just writing, and it was difficult to, like, I don't know, it was a lot of writer's block. It was a lot of, like, I don't even know, like, kind of as you said, like, I don't even know what, like, is happening in the world. I don't know what the next few months are going to look like. It was difficult at first, but then eventually I feel like, you know, at least for myself and probably for the rest of the guys, you kind of start to, all of this kind of like became kind of normal eventually, you know, and like now, even though we're still like in it and doing this, like the whole pandemic thing, it's like, this just kind of feels like real life now, you know what I mean? Whereas like those first few months were just kind of like crazy and frantic and like, what's happening, you know? And so like, and then eventually it's like, well, you got to, you know, life goes on and you know, you're just kind of in it now, you know? And so once it kind of hit that point, I feel like we were all able to sort of dive in and write some great tunes, man.
We keep getting more and more followers. So I want to shout them out real quick. We got Silka138 out there, Q Buff Street's watching us, and some of the CH also just followed. So shout out to all you guys. Really appreciate it. It's Derek Sanders, Mayday Parade. Of course, the big thing that I really wanted to get you on before the song, I really do appreciate you coming on. Fuck yeah. On a Wednesday morning, no better way to wake up than with a parade, baby. Let's go. But Sunnyland, man. And I hate myself because, first of all, this album's been out. It's wild how long it's been a couple years, 2018, which is wild to me. You know what I mean? It came out, I think, like right around that Warped Tour and stuff, and then you do Sad Summer the year after, and then, of course, last year was last year. This album was so good. I remember, like, texting with you and just be like, damn, dude, like, from the opening song on, I'm just like, boom, let's go. You guys are going to be performing a live stream of this album. Now, you had done one with Anywhere But Here a couple months ago, which sounded awesome and looked visually incredible. So that's why everyone needs to check this out. But give us the rundown. Why do this album? Why not like a best of? Was this kind of to gear people up for, you know, the eventual new music? Or was it kind of just like, hey, we haven't played these songs really. We want to play them ourselves. What was kind of the deal there?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. It was a lot of discussion on, because, you know, I forget when we were talking about this and decided this, but it was like, what's the next live stream going to be? And you know, we had done our first one was the EP, the Out of Here EP,
right.
and then kind of like a best of kind of vibe for the rest of the songs. And then of course we did Anywhere But Here, and so we felt like another just like, you know, just kind of standard set. We didn't want it to start being like we keep doing these and just playing the same songs. And
right. Enough of me talking and whatnot. Let's jam out and let's play a song, because that's what I feel like we all need right now. Now, before we do that, though, Sunnyland, it's going to be live stream. It's going to be awesome. We're going to be able to see the whole entire album in its entirety. When is that happening? And obviously, people need to check it out. It's going to be fucking awesome.
That's right. That's right. You know, gosh, this is so horrible. I think it's March 16th. Is it? No, 19th.
There you go.
March.
I'm glad I knew that, and you.
Yeah, that's horrible. Yeah, March 19th is the entire album, plus the B-side "Turn My Back," and yeah, man, it's, you know, it's cool. It's our first time playing a lot of those songs.
Yeah.
Because you know, as you said, it's been a couple years, and so there's a lot of them that and there's a lot. I really do. I love the album. It's up there in my. I say in my top 3 Mayday Parade albums for sure. I'm super happy with it. I'm
so stoked to hear some of those songs, and especially on this album, man. Like track 1 through like 6, just rip or just boom. Like it's some of your best songwriting that you've ever done, man, for sure. So definitely looking forward to that. Why don't we play a song though? I know a lot of people came from all over. You want to jam out, play a song for everybody? I see you got the acoustic. Enough of me talking. Let's listen to some music on a Wednesday morning with Derek from Mayday Parade. My man, what do you want to play? What are you thinking?
Do it. Can I play 2 songs? Is that cool?
You can do whatever you want, man. Do one, then we'll talk, and then play another one. All right?
Cool. This first one is going to be a cover song, and then I'll play a Mayday Parade song next.
Cool.
And this one is it's called Wildflowers, and it's by Soccer Mommy.
Okay.
Awesome artist that I've got into recently, and so I'm gonna give it a go. Here we go. Oh, by the way, before I start, I don't know how hot my mic. Can you adjust my mic if I'm like singing real loud?
Yes, I'll be able to do some stuff. I got you covered, baby. EQ.
I know you do.
EQ Gunz over here.
Nice, I love it. All right, here we go. Wildflowers by Soccer Mommy. Don't grow in the city. My heart turns gray and faded down. I wanna be who I wasn't. I wanna dance and feel a child running for nothing. I watched you go, my fever. I found God on Sunday morning, lying next to you. My arms stretched out like Jesus. What she tell me down to the bed. My hand burns on Monday. Not broken heart, but aching head. Don't grow in the city. I tramped the sidewalk, broken to the earth was calling to me. Our
Boom. Sounds like it's 8 p.m. at night with that voice, my man.
Well, thank you, man. Yeah, that's have you ever heard of Soccer Mommy? Ever listened to Soccer
absolutely.
Mommy?
Yeah, buzzing for sure, man. Yeah. What
Yeah, she's cool, and I just recently got into, like, Stephen Jenkins tweeted something about them, and so I went and checked him out, and man, a couple of those records are just like unbelievable. And so yeah, that's the last song on her record, Clean, that song Wildflowers, and I just last couple of days I've been jamming it, and
nice.
This morning I was like, yeah, maybe I'll try and throw that one in. So yeah.
Well, it sounded awesome, man, and that's funny that you brought that up, because I kind of went through a phase, because when we first started, when everything got shut down, it's like, oh yeah, everyone just stay home for 2 weeks and everything will be fine. Everyone just stay home for 2 weeks and we'll be all right. It's like, okay, I can do this for 2 weeks. Everyone was having like Zoom drinking parties with their friends, like, oh, it's like a spring break, like we're all having fun. And then all of a sudden it turns to 2 months and we're like, okay. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh God. It keeps going. So music obviously though helped I'm sure a lot of us out during this time. Did you find yourself falling back and listening to like more nostalgic records at times, or did you kind of like try to, listen to even newer stuff, or what kind of got you through? Or were you all over the place? Yeah,
I mean, it was a little bit of both, but it's certainly like, I don't know, I hate to say this because it's so like, I don't know, but I guess it's just kind of like a reality of life, is that like the older I get, like the less I find like new music that I'm like super, super into, and so I try and I listen to a lot of new stuff, and there's always like songs here and there that I'm stoked on. That's part of why I'm so pumped on like getting into Soccer Mommy recently, is like, I feel like when I get into something and I'm like, oh man, like this is awesome, like this is amazing, like that happens like, once a year or every couple of years, you know what I mean? Like these days.
Yeah.
So super pumped on that. But then, obviously still a lot of the just nostalgia, a lot of just like my favorite bands, a lot of Third Eye Blind. And and it's also cool to like go back to stuff that like you haven't listened to in a long time, like stuff that like when I was in high school I was really into and I kind of had not listened to for 15, 20 years or whatever. And then now like, go back and listen to some of that is cool as well.
Yeah. What have did you pick up any skills or what did you do to kind of like pass the time? Like, I know some people were like, oh, we built shelves, or we did like, made our garden outside. And other people are like, I just watched a shit ton of Netflix. And like, I personally had never seen The Godfather in its entirety or The Sopranos. So like I watched The Sopranos for the first time and like, things like that I never had time with. Was there something, did you learn anything new about yourself or pick up a specific talent at all, do you think, the last year?
We've been working on our house a lot. I painted my house, and I realized how difficult like the outside of my house, and I realized how the reason why it costs like thousands of dollars to have your house painted is because that was just so gnarly. But and then like we've had tons of house stuff. We have 3 kids, so like that obviously, especially since for the bulk of it they were all home the entire, like they weren't doing school. Like my daughter now is recently started going back to actual, physical in-person school, but the kids doing the virtual school was a lot of, time and effort put into kind of helping them with that. And also just like, working on lots of music, certainly with Mayday Parade, but also a bunch of other, like some of the solo project stuff. I have this project with AJ Perdomo from Dangerous Summer that we're working on. So we're like, finishing up some stuff with that and just a lot of stuff really. In fact, it's been like I'd say like for about 6 months there, especially like going up into the studio to finish up or to record the full-length album was like the busiest 6 months of my life. I felt like it was just like crazy. Like I had just like because I mean it was just there's just so much like happening and so much. Oh, and also like just like my mom bought a house, and so I was helping her a lot with. Did you paint that one too?
Did you paint that one too, or
well,
no?
I didn't paint that one, no. But she she lives by herself, and so like and neither of my brothers live around, so it's a lot of like helping her get her stuff packed up and moved. And at the same time, we actually bought. I could go on and on, but there's like a country house my grandparents lived in that my aunt sold to us. So we have kind of like a country weekend house kind of thing that we go to now, which is it's amazing and it's beautiful. And
so you kept busy, man. You were able to keep, yeah.
Right, all of this kind of happening like at the same time. It was just kind of like, gosh, like just so much, it was wild. But now, like, we finished doing the record. Now I feel like I have, a little bit more free time on my hands, and gonna dive into some of these other like projects a little more, these music projects. And
I would have loved to have just driven by and just seen you like up on a ladder just trying to paint. Like, was that what it was? Like you were literally like on a ladder trying to paint and stuff?
Oh, for sure. It was crazy. And this, what sucks is that, and this is like, I'm just like the worst human. Like my ladder is messed up. Like it's the ladder that came with my house when I bought it like 7 years ago. I've never bought a ladder before.
Right, yeah.
And the bottom like thing of it is like bent. Not like a lot, but a little bit. So it kind of, it's a little wobbly. It's not so sturdy, and like, my house it's a 2-story house and like on a hill. So like when I'm up there at the top of it, especially in certain areas, like if I fall, like I'm gonna get messed up. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna be going to the hospital, and I'm up there like on this rickety ladder, like reaching out to like I can just like, it was honestly terrifying. It was terrifying. But I was like, I gotta do it. You gotta
do it, man. So. Well, listen, we're glad that you made that and you were able to survive that. And I'm sure the house looks gorgeous, I'm sure it looks great. It is Derek from Mayday Parade. It's Gunz here from The Gunz Show. Make sure to follow me. The Gunz Show has Twitch. Tell your friends about this. Later tonight, 8 p.m., I've got our buddy Joe from Transit. Joe from Transit's launching a solo project called Narrowcast. I love Transit. We haven't heard too much about them. So I want to just catch up with them. And that's the beauty about what I'm able to do here on Twitch. And don't forget The Gunz Show. You can listen to this available on The Gunz Show on Spotify, iTunes, of course, on idobi Radio as well. We appreciate Derek coming on. You mentioned you have one more song in you. What are we going with? What are we thinking, man?
I was gonna do something from Sunnyland, just since that was make sure
Sunnyland. By the way, March 19th will be the live stream. I urge you all to check it out. They've done a couple of them in the past. The visuals are awesome. Plus, you can jam out, crack some beers, have some fun with some friends, whatever it might be. The internet, if you would, grabbing your group chat, whatever it might be, and enjoy Mayday Parade performing some of these awesome songs. And here's an acoustic version, one that you're gonna be able to see on March 19th. Take it away, my man.
That's right. Yeah, Gunz, thank you for having me, man. It's always a pleasure. It's good to see you. And tell Joe I said what's up whenever you talk to him later. I miss that guy. All right. This one's called Piece of Your Heart. Here we go. Give me your misery, all I can give it to you. I can't hold on to for you. It's not a problem. Just want your energy. Piece of that fractured mountain. I'll take whatever comes with it as long as it's yours. All I know is that I want it more than yesterday. If I was waiting for just one little spark. You are the brightest I see. You are the best side of me. Just for when we're apart, I've got a piece of your heart. I want the whole damn thing, feel inside of me, feeling inside of me too. Seeing forever is now cast away from the sky. You never saw through, not what you have me do. Burning together, burning forever. I don't know, I just feel it in the atmosphere. Wandered into just the right spot. You are the fire in the sleep. You are the reason I dream. Just for when we're apart, I've got a piece of your heart. I've got a piece of your heart. I want the whole damn thing. Say hello to all my problems for me. Tell them sorry, I can't be around anymore. anymore. Years will go on, we'll get old to live and time will goodbye. Oh, and it goes on, ever just slide. But you know that I do all over with you again. I've got a piece of your heart. I want to hold your face, say hello to all my promise to me. Tell them sorry, can't be around anymore. Years will go on, we'll get older every time. Oh, we'll get by.
Boom. Man, I was so tempted to do the background. Oh. It was just calling for me. I'm sure the viewers were singing along as well. Man, that was so good, dude. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate the friendship throughout the years as well as coming on. Still Breathing just wrote absolutely beautiful. JKong23 just wrote 11 years later, this man's voice is still crazy good. A lot of people commenting, man, really appreciating it. Also, I guess it was 1 year to the day that What It Is dropped. It Is What It Is dropped.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Or apparently it's been 1 year since it dropped, so it might be 1 year to the day. Somebody just wrote that in the chat as well. So time flies, man. But listen, in a year from now, how about we all agree that we see some Mayday Parade live setting? All right? How about less than a year from now, man? I cannot wait for live shows. I feel like the light's right there. We've turned the corner. We're getting there, man. We are getting there.
I know, totally. Yeah. I'm so, we're announcing some of these festivals and some of these shows that I'm just hoping happen. Because, man, like, it would be, how awesome would it be, if Slam Dunk happens, if Furnace Fest happens, like, if these shows,
yes,
to be around, like, so many friends that I haven't seen in so long. It's like you said, man, like, you're used to, like, seeing these people, like you see somebody, you'll see them within a year, somewhere out there. And so I'm ready to get back to it.
Well, until then, you can follow him, Derek Sanders. He's got all sorts of stuff. He's got, solo stuff he's done, the acoustic EP that you had put out, all sorts of great stuff that people can check out. And, of course, Mayday Parade, Sunnyland, March 19th. I'll be there jamming along. We'll all be in the chat together, singing along, having some fun. It's going to be an absolute blast. I got to say this. You teased us a little bit saying that, you guys had been in the studio and kind of have wrapped up and whatnot. What feel are we getting with this? Like, what sound? Like, are we going to be what are we thinking? Give us a little tease on what we're thinking, man. Come on.
Yeah. Well, I'll say it's nothing super unexpected. It's I mean, at least for the most part, it's a pretty standard Mayday Parade record that has a little bit of, some of the darker, heavy stuff, a little bit of the energetic, just poppy stuff. Some of the there's a lot of ballads. I mean, there's a couple that I think are sort of, I don't even know how to just, are sort of branching into like the, kind of like a modern pop sort of sound, maybe stuff that's a little bit different than anything we've done before. Nice. But there's a little bit of everything, like we don't, I feel like, a standard, somebody who's like been a fan for a long time, I think there'll be plenty that they find is like kind of just right up, the alley, like Mayday Parade style. I mean, there's some stuff that sort of is some new territory as well. Yeah.
Love it, man. That's the beauty about music, man. Always growing, always changing, but still kind of being that Mayday Parade-esque. And that's right. Now we have something more to look forward to for all the fans out there. Stay strong because, listen, we're eventually going to get a new Mayday album. Shows are eventually coming back. And until then, just stay strong. Look forward to that. And March 19th is going to be a special performance. And it's going to be a blast. Derek, my man, anything else you want to say to the audience out there? Appreciate you coming. You were the first guest on the Gunz Show has Twitch. So when I become a massive superstar, people will look back at this episode, the inaugural episode, kicking it off. No better way to do it than Derek from Mayday. My man.
It's history. History in the making.
Historic moments happen now. Anything you want to say to the listeners out there, those that might have been, it's been a tough year, obviously, right?
Yeah. Well, just thanks for the love, and I feel like we all just have to appreciate what we have. We got to appreciate. There's so much that's crazy right now. But as you said, we're moving in the right direction. We're almost there. You got to appreciate what you have and keep on trucking. And we love you guys. We're here for you guys. And yeah.
I cannot wait to hear Jersey live. It's going to be something special. Also, every city and town, when you guys play, it's going to go wild because they haven't had concerts in forever. Every single city is going to lose their minds. I
keep thinking about that first whatever that first show back is going to be just insane.
Derek Sanders, Mayday Parade, follow them and him on all the socials. March 19th, Sunnyland. Get a ticket now. Tell your friends about it. Listen, there's nothing else to do. You might as well watch a live performance and sing along and have some drinks and have a good time. We still can't do a lot of things, but March 19th, we can all agree that we'll be checking out Sunnyland. Derek, my man, appreciate you coming on. Thanks for playing some songs as well, dude. Absolutely.
Anytime. Thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely. There he is, Derek from Mayday Parade. For the viewers out there, I appreciate you checking into the Gunz Show. Don't forget, later tonight, 8 p.m., Joe from Transit will be on. The Gunz Show has Twitch, so tell your friends. We're going to catch up with Joe. I haven't talked to him in a minute. Obviously, with Tim passing, unfortunately, a couple years ago, I love Transit, missed Tim a lot, and I want to talk to Joe about how everyone's just doing all right and just and also his new project and more. So check that out right here. The Gunz Show has Twitch later tonight, 8 p.m. And don't forget, subscribe to The Gunz Show on Spotify, iTunes, and of course on idobi Radio. I've got I Call Fives on tonight on The Gunz Show. I've got John Foreman from Switchfoot on this coming Sunday. I've got Tyler Posey coming up. All sorts of great stuff. Everything's The Gunz Show. Follow me there. And until then, just ball, baby. On a Wednesday morning, this was awesome. Boom. Mayday Parade for life. Let's go. See you guys. Peace.